Chapter 19. When John entered her room the following Monday, Rebecca made an announcement. "I'm staying here." He had spent the entire week worrying. Now he tried to process her statement with reassuring calmness. "So that's what you've decided?" "Yes." "Really?" "Yes." "Why don't we talk about the different options you could have by taking the next step?" "No, I want to stay here." "Then what'll you do?" "What do you mean?" "Well, if you're going to stay here, what will you be doing for yourself?" John asked. "The same things I've done for the last 5 years." "Will you be happy?" "Ask me in another 5 years and I'll tell you." "Really, will you be happy here?" She turned away and approached the window. "Can you give me a guarantee that I'll be happy out there?" John ignored the question and joined her at the glass. Together they stood staring at the tall trees. The pines wavered against the wind. Dominating clouds darkened rays of light, and grayness lingered in the sky. They had shared a dream, an aspiration for her to live beyond the gates of Clearcreek. She had let go. John stood there wondering if he should help her recapture this desire. Or perhaps he was losing sight of the vision as well. The quiet moment was awkward. Rebecca turned away from the glass. "Give me a guarantee," she said. "Promise me that I'll be happy out there." "I can't determine that." "See, I won't be. So why should I leave?" Rebecca left the window and approached the table. She searched through her books, selected a title, and flipped through the pages. John turned back to the glass and looked outside. He held on, waiting until a faint light broke through a far-off cloud. Then he approached the table. He wasn't ready to let go of this dream. "Can I see your book?" She gave him a puzzled look but handed it over. He shut it and tucked it under his arm. "Let's finish talking about this." She glared at them. He offered her a soft nod in return. "Rebecca, you're asking me to promise something I've no control over. Your happiness comes from you. No one can determine that. No person or circumstance or event or setting can govern how you view your life. That's for you to decide. All I can do is counsel you. Yes, more than likely there will be times that are difficult and tough. Sometimes you might not be happy. But what about the other times? So there won't be constant pleasure and happiness in your life. That doesn't mean there needs to be constant misery. In my mind, it's a risk worth taking. And that's where we're different." She grabbed a different book from off the table and proceeded to flip through the pages. "Your mind is different than mine. My mind is abnormal. And with that abnormal mind, I prefer to stay here." He set the book he'd been holding down next to her. "No. You've set your mind on this, and that's what's going to keep you here." She grabbed the book back. "Either way, my mind has something to do with me staying." "Fine. Take your book and go live in this false existence. But you should know that you don't have to settle for an institutionalized life. I've got a mental illness. Yes, you do. And it might plague you for the rest of your life. But guess what? Everybody has problems. Everybody doesn't have my illness. No, they don't. But whether it's mental or physical, spiritual or emotional, financial or social, guess what? We're all struggling with something. So here's your choice. Either dwell on the fact that you have a mental illness, accept that your life can't amount to anything, and play the role of the victim in an unfair world, or make the most of what you have. Go and do the best you can in dealing with life and your illness." He paused to observe her. Her eyes were still focused on the book, but the pages were frozen in place. "You don't have to walk out of here a completely healed individual who knows with certainty that you'll never suffer again. You just have to keep trying. Give your best." "I have tried." "Then keep trying. The true test is not necessarily to overcome all illness in your life. If that were attainable, that would be great. But more than likely, That's not realistic. Then what's the point? Nobody's going to tell you that you're going to walk away from here and experience perfect mental health for the rest of your life. The true test is what you make out of your life despite the illness you face. The poor want to become rich. The chronically ill hope to find a cure for their ailments. However, most of us may not ever become free of what distresses us. The true victory comes from working to make a positive, happy life happen, regardless of the challenges we struggle with. A sudden sob slipped out. She bit her lip. John continued, "Whenever I see people with an obvious handicap who are triumphantly moving forward, making something of themselves, and not letting life just pass by, those are the people who inspire me to aim to make more of my own life. Rebecca, every time I see you striving to improve your condition, you inspire me. You can build a life for yourself if you want to. I know you can." John's throat tingled with numbness. He stopped speaking, allowing his words to seep into the soundless room. When the silence was too much, Rebecca responded, "I'm not leaving here." She closed the book, grabbed another title, and proceeded to flip through the pages of the fairy tale. "Talk to me, Rebecca. Tell me why you want to stay here." She did not answer. "Give me the book," he said. "No." Her eyes were locked, staring at his outreached hand. "It's my book." "Hand it to me." "No. You will leave it alone." John pulled back. Words deserted him. There was nothing more to say. Slowly, he stood up and approached the door. "Goodbye, Rebecca. I'll come see you tomorrow."